I know this topic isn't very sexy. I did ask them, are you sure work-life balance? They said, yes, we want work-life balance. Whenever we need to schedule, it's not sexy, but bear with me, because I'm going to give you some sexy somewhere in here. How many of you are in sales? Okay, this is a dangerous room because you are all talkers and you all have opinions and you all are probably quite funny. You connect with people very quickly. You're quite relatable. So I know it's going to be tough, but for 40 minutes, you're going to not talk. Lord, be with us all. Right, let's go. So I'm Lucia Dramat. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm an author and I'm a coach. And what I do is I help ambitious and driven individuals build confidence and courage to do the very things that they want to do. A lot of people have ideas. Do you know someone with ideas? I'm sure you do. They have ideas, but next week they have a different idea. And the next week they have a different idea. And years later, they've come up with 45,000 ideas, but the fruition, very small. Why? Because sometimes they lack the confidence and the courage to actually follow through. So that is what I help people do. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about work-life balance. I'm going to give you some tools and keys. But before we get there, if you have a notebook and a pen, great. You can take it out very quickly. If not, just take out your cell phone. You can open your notes or you can open your memo. We're going to do a quick little exercise where I'm going to ask you 4 questions. I'd like you to pop the first answer that comes into your head just on the memo. Or you can open up an email. You're not going to send it. I just want you to have somewhere where you can write the answer down so that you can forget it and move on to the next question. You'll enjoy the exercise. So remember your answers if you can't write it down. But it would be best if you just had a quick. Does everyone have a cell phone? Everyone have a notebook? We're good to go. The first question. Choose your very favorite animal, right? And give me 2 adjectives to describe your favorite animal. So for example, if I said dolphin, I would say friendly and slippery, right? So your favorite animal, 2 adjectives. Are we good? Next question. Your second favorite animal. If it was between the 2, is it a dolphin or a horse? A dolphin or a horse? You went with dolphin. Now, okay, the second one is then horse, right? 2 adjectives to describe a horse. Play along. You're going to have fun at the end when we reveal what each question means. Right? So that's your second favorite animal, 2 adjectives to describe them. Are we good with that one? Right? Third question. 2 words to describe the ocean. 2 words to describe the ocean. And the final question, 2 adjectives to describe white water rafting. 2 adjectives to describe white water rafting. That boat down that high-speed river. Right. Okay. Sir over there with a black shirt. Yes, you, sir. Can you give me your favorite animal and the 2 words to describe it? That's you with the glasses. Yes. Your favorite animal and the 2 words to describe it.
Lion.
Yes.
Regal and fierce.
Regal and fierce. I love that. So strong. For you, sir, with the green shirt, just before you take a sip of your coffee, your favorite animal and your 2 adjectives.
The first one or second one?
The first one.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So lion. Yeah. Strong and protective.
Strong and protective. Okay, fantastic. Ma'am, for you, your second favorite animal and your 2 words to describe it. Yes.
Horse.
Horse, okay.
Powerful and loyal.
Powerful and loyal. I love that. For you, sir, with a blue shirt?
I've got elephant, powerful and family orientation.
Oh, I love that. Beautiful. Powerful and family orientation. For you, ma'am, your second favorite animal, 2 words to describe it.
Elephant as well.
Oh, wow.
Strong and smart.
strong, and smart. Love that. Okay, moving over to the ocean in the pink. Your 2 words to describe the ocean.
Cool and turquoise.
Cool and turquoise. Okay, great. From the back, can we have someone in the back there? Yes, you? With the glasses on your head? Okay, the ocean, 2 words. Calm and? Enveloping. Lovely, lovely. And then for whitewater rafting, over here in the green, black and green, yes? Whitewater rafting, your 2 adjectives.
I think like water, it's stormy and it's dangerous.
Stormy and dangerous, okay. At the back in the white shirt, you know you don't have to turn around. You are the one on the hot seat. Your 2 words to describe the ocean or whitewater rafting, yes. Dangerous and fast. All right, let's see what they mean. This is not deep psychology, we're just having fun. So for the very first one, this is how you see yourself. For the second one, this is how other people see you. The third one is the ocean, and that is how you see life. Does the shoe fit? Is it clicking? Yes or no? And then the final question there, question 4. Now apparently that is how you see sex. Someone said fast. Someone said fast. That's all I'm saying. I don't like water. I'm leaving it with that. Right. I hope we're all loose as a goose now and we can dive into today's session. So we are talking work-life balance. And as we start this session, I want to share one of my favorite quotes. Now, I've got 2 favorite quotes. The first one, Maya Angelou, she says, "My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style." That's personal. I love it. But this is my second favorite quote, especially in corporate spaces, especially in work environments or group environments. And here it is. It's Tony Robbins, and he says, "Identify the problem, but give your power and your energy to the solution." And that is so powerful. Now, I don't know about you, but I've got an aunt. Oh, and she's good at identifying the problem. And she, "Lucia, you into all this grateful stuff. It's all wishy-washy. It's all positivity. These are real issues. We need to think about it." It's not about denying the problem. Yes, identify the problem. The issue is, don't give your power and your energy to the problem. This darling aunt, my goodness, it feels like it's empowering when something goes wrong in her life because she's got a story to tell. And so she has this gout and she says, "Oh my goodness, the gout got me. You know, I went to the doctor and he gave me this pill. I swear I can't eat for the rest of my life because this life is just such a misery. This gout is getting me. I don't know if I'm going to make it till next year. You better come visit, eh?" She milks it. She milks this gout. Oh my goodness. Have you met the lady whose husband had an affair? Well, she looks for anyone because it's fresh meat. I get to share the story of this horrid man, right? And you know what he did? And after so many years, he did this to me. Now, did he do a bad thing? He did. I don't say there isn't a problem, but she gives her power and her energy to thinking about, rehashing, revenging, worrying, trying to figure out. All that power and energy goes to the problem as opposed to the solution. So, yes, there are problems. But each and every one of us can take this moment of self-reflection and think, Where am I putting my power and my energy? Does it get stuck at the problem, at the issue? Or do I allow it to go beyond that and actually fuel the power or fuel the solution, especially when it comes to group settings? When we're talking about work-life balance, who here has responded to emails while in bed? Okay, my people, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm always responding to emails. Even when I'm unavailable, I'm available. Even when I'm watching my son play rugby, I'm working, right? Work-life balance, it's a different ball game these days. We're not in the 1940s where the wife is at home and barefoot and cooking a lovely meal and the 7 kids play in the yard and the husband comes home with his huff and puff. It's a very different life. We all are working. We all are. The kids have schedules. Have you seen their schedules? Shocking. They have commitments. They have places to be, and they're so entitled about it too. Our lives are busy. So work-life balance, it's a totally different ballgame. Who here has been on holiday, like this lady over here, but while on holiday you took a work call? We've all done it. We've all done it. Can't drop this client. Can't let this deal fall. Even when we're annoyed, yes, I'm on leave. In the email, it said that Susan will be responding. You can call her, right? But we still grit it and we do it because work has become such a big part of our lives. So it's that whole concept of, I'm out of office, but I'm still in the WhatsApp group. I remember we went to Sun City a few years ago, and one of my friends that went with us work at one of these big beverage companies here in the Western Cape. And he's like, you know what, I'm on holiday. But it was in WhatsApp groups where they had hundreds of people. So messages were going off all the time and he can't exit the WhatsApp group. So even though he's on holiday, he's got his phone all the time. The stress is there. He can't switch off. Gets absolutely crazy. So let's quickly talk about just some stats. Stats are always good, just to lay the foundation. Did you know that about 76% of employees of the adult workforce, my goodness, entrepreneurs, experience burnout at some point in their lives? Isn't that wild? And if we connect burnout and stress, it actually has an impact on our bodies. Who's ever gone through a stressful time and you're just trying to get to the finish line, and when you finally get to the finish line and you've booked yourself a few days off, you get sick? You finally, oh, this is my leave, this is my holiday. You're sick and sniffing in the middle of summer on your holiday because stress has an impact on our bodies. Stress has an impact on our physical body, so much so that people have strokes and heart attacks. And then let's look at the financial loss. The Harvard Business Review found that $322 billion gets lost due to a lack of productivity because people are burnt out and exhausted, and also losses connected to that. So it's absolutely crazy. And then, of course, trust Japan to come with this phenomenal term here, karoshi. Have you heard of it? Karoshi. I think I need to give it more power. Karoshi. Can you say karoshi? Karoshi. Death by work. That's the definition, karoshi, right? Death by work. So what they found was people were so stressed out at work that they committed suicide. And this was a phenomenon that they discovered in 2021. Absolutely crazy. Let's look at the flip side very quickly. People who actually have work-life balance, who figured it out, they have increased productivity, 12% more productive when they have balance in their life. They have higher job satisfaction, which means they are more loyal in their organizations because they have a balanced life. They have a better mental and physical health. And so by balancing your life, you actually feel good. Not sick every time you take leave. You're not frustrated. You get home, your child asks you, Mom, what are we having for dinner? My goodness, can someone else not handle dinner, right? Dad, what time are we going to braai? Oh my God. No, all of that's not there, right? We've lowered those levels. Google did something very interesting. They said use 20% of your time to do things that you are passionate about within your work. So 80% you do your work, and 20% within the organization you do things that you're excited and passionate about. What it did was allowed for creativity, which really brought about Gmail and Google Maps. Who has a Gmail account? Most of us have a Gmail account. Most of us use Google Maps, and that wasn't even their core business. That was people being creative within their work time. I remember when I started my first job, it was in my early 20s, it was in public relations. I worked at a weight loss company and I traveled the country training the new consultants, writing the newsletters and planning the events. That was my job. And my boss called me in and he said, Lucia, if you want to be an actress, find a way to act here in your job. Act while you're presenting. If you want to be creative and design, find a way to design in your job. When you do the newsletter, use some design elements. Whatever you want to do, if you love fashion, then when we have our gala evening, bring fashion into it. Try and bring the things that you love and that you enjoy and that you're passionate about into what we do on an everyday, daily basis, so that you have these little injections of life and excitement in your work. Now, there are about 5 areas in all of our lives, and I usually expand it to about 8. Firstly, your physical life. So yes, that's your health, and then your fitness. Your second, financial. And we can actually break that into 2. So obviously, finances, your future finances, your current financial state, but then also your career and the fulfillment that you get from your career advancement. We've got your social life. That can be broken into 3. So that's with your significant other, your loved ones, those close to you, and then your friends and other people that you just connect with every now and then. You've got your mental life. Are you learning? Are you growing? Are you really feeding your mind? Then we've got our spiritual life, your religious practices, your place of peace, and then your environment, where you live. Well, you know better than anyone. Where you live has an impact on the way that you feel, on your safety, on your anxiety. So your environment as well, where you spend your time. And if we want to say, listen, let's give 8 hours at work. And for most of us, that's more than 8 hours, right? But let's give 8 hours at work. Okay, then I have to balance. So I'm going to give 8 hours at home. And then I have to give 8 hours to learning and growing and body and physical. Oh, and then I have to give 8 hours to sleep. And there's just not enough hours in the day. So it doesn't really work like that. It's not a time balancing. What you are balancing are these 4 pillars. If you want to take a photo of this, you're more than welcome. Firstly, your time management. So you're going to have to prioritize and you're going to have to set boundaries. Sometimes we say certain things are important to us, but it doesn't show up in our calendar. If we look at the last 2 months, we haven't gotten around to it, but it's so important. But I haven't gotten around to it. So it's not been prioritized. Now I want to give you a powerful tool. It's called the Eisenhower Matrix. You can also take a photo of this. And this is a great way to work through the things you want to do. The first one there says, it's urgent and it's important. So that's something you get to immediately. This is important. Got to sort this out. But it's also urgent. It's time sensitive. Needs to be done first thing. Second one there is important, but it is not urgent. So I really, my grandma is so important to me. It's not urgent that I go see her right now. Doesn't have to go out before 12 o'clock. But it is important. And so with that, I schedule it. I'm going to go see grandma on Saturday afternoon. I've put it in my calendar. Then urgent and not important. Something that needs to be done now. We're about to have the meeting. The biscuits are not here. It's not so important, but it's urgent. The meeting's going to happen in 10 minutes, so I can delegate it. I can ask someone else, run to the shop quickly and sort this out for me. Next one, not urgent, not important. So why is it on the list? So often we spend time on not urgent, not important stuff, reading through certain things that has no impact, that doesn't really matter. And so this is a great way that you can rate if this is working in terms of your time. Because sometimes it feels so overwhelming. Does this make sense? And this is something all of us can use. let's go back to this. Then we have energy management. That's your next pillar. Are you able to give energy to the different priorities in your life? And we really have to look at that. Sometimes we use our best energy in the morning, and the rest of the day we have nothing left. And so by the time we get to the other areas of our lives that are important, we have no energy left for those areas. So how can I manage my energy? And if we go back to that very first quote that I shared, it's about giving your power and your energy to the solutions. Sometimes we give our power so much to the issues and the problems that when we get to the other priorities, we have nothing left. You can't make small talk. You've made small talk all day with all your clients, and when you get home, you don't even feel like talking to anybody. But those relationships are important. So how can I maintain some energy to look at maybe my child showing me his flying kick that is, it's nothing special, but he needs to see that enthusiasm in my eyes, right? How can I do that in those friendships? I don't know, do any of you have those long calls, 45-minute calls from a sister, a cousin, a mommy, right? Those long calls. Sometimes we need to give our energy to that. Then looking at our mindset. So often, wherever we are, we feel guilty about something else. How can we choose to just be present? I am at home now. So let me enjoy this and stop worrying about that thing. It's crazy how when we're at work, we worry about at home and how we've dropped the ball. And then when we are at home, we worry about at work and what we have to do. But how can we choose to just say, hey, I'm here now. I'm in this moment. How can I make the most out of this moment so that when I walk away, I know this moment counted? I don't have to be guilty. I don't have to feel, I was there, but I didn't even feel like talking. How can I give this moment the respect that it needs? And then the final one there, purpose-driven living. Really choosing what are those key priorities in your life and how can you show up every single day in different ways, big and small, for those priorities. I came up with a really exciting concept. Well, it's exciting to me, right? I'm sure here it's exciting when you sign a deal, but this little concept here is so wonderfully exciting to me. It's called intervals and interventions. If you watch Espresso, I spoke about this last week on the Espresso show. And my fashion was so much nicer that day. I had full glam and everything. But here you are. So intervals speaks about things you do regularly, right? So we don't all have 8 hours a day to do all the things we love. But how can I inject little things into my life daily? So my daily intervals. Okay, I wake up in the morning, I spend a few minutes on gratitude. I like to read a book every single day for 10 minutes, read a few pages. I go and gym 3 times a week. These are intervals. They regularly happen. You put them in your life because they have an impact. I have date night. I have a book club. These are social things I do. Maybe you've set a target for yourself. Every 2 months, I want to go away for 2 days. I just need 2 days every second month just to switch off. So these are intervals. And these really give you the flow in your life, the rhythm. This is what I do on a consistent basis. And these are the things that fuel me on a consistent basis. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour. Then we have interventions. These you throw into your life to disrupt. These are different. These are not things you usually do. It's going to that retreat and being totally zen. And it's just not something you usually do, but you give yourself that. It's going to that conference and learning about these amazing things that you're really interested in. It's going paragliding. It's disruptors. It disrupts your routine. It gets you excited. It has something that you have to look forward to. Oh my gosh, I'm going to Bali at the end of this year. Oh, I'm going to buy that property at the end of this year. I'm aiming for this specific thing, and it's just different from the usual. And we all need these things because these things are what excites us. It fuels us and it revives us. And if you just think about music, you'll have your intervals which create the flow. But if you just had those 1, 2, 3 notes playing from the beginning to the end of the song for 3 minutes, it's boring. You put the music off. So you have these interventions, which are your choruses, your peak moments, the crescendo moment in the song. That is what we want in music. That is what we want in life, even in sport. Imagine you practicing all the time, but you never play the game. You never go on the field with your kit on and show us what you have, right? So we need to add a little bit of both. Now, what I want to touch on very quickly is your mind is an incredible operating system. And so some people sit here and say, oh, this is how I am, this is how my life is, this is my lot in life, it's not going to change, it's not going to shift. But we can have all the devices in the world, and it is not as powerful as your mind. Because while you are sitting here, your heart is beating, you are blinking, you are maybe thinking about what you need to do after this session, you might be thinking about an argument you had with someone, but you're still taking stuff out of the session now. There's a breeze on your skin, and there's a lot of things happening at the same time. And yet your mind manages everything. Now there's this incredible thing right on top of your spine. It's called the RAS, the reticular activating system. What it does is it filters everything coming through your senses. So the breeze, the clothing on your skin, your earrings for the ladies, your glasses, all those things it filters. What should I pay attention to? What should I pay attention to? So you don't pay attention to all the fabric touching your skin. But something does go off when something gets stuck. When there's a nick, automatically your mind says, hey, pay attention to this. This is not right. The same with if you're in a room full of people. It's noisy, everyone's talking. But if someone says your name, you look. Because your name is open to your filter, or your filter is open to your name. The moms might know you're at the playground, you're having a coffee, and you hear a child scream, and immediately you know that's my child. You know they scream. You are so tuned into their specific scream. And so in the same way, like that auntie I spoke about earlier, she might be tuned in to adultery. She watches movies about it. She hears stories. She just attracts adultery. Everywhere she goes, she hears all these stories about adultery, right? It's top of mind. Her filters are open to it. And my goodness, the algorithm on social media even feeds into that more. It's the same with the red car theory. You decide, I'm going to buy a red BMW. And all of a sudden, everywhere you go, it's red BMW. When did they get a BMW? Oh my word, they also have a BMW, and it's red. Everywhere you go to the mall, you pass 4 BMWs. You never saw it before. You thought, this is a great idea. And then all of a sudden, it's everywhere because your filters have now opened to it. My goodness, don't let me go on Property 24 once. All of a sudden, I just see properties everywhere. And I see, hey, this one bought a house, that one bought a house. And I'm starting to see it because my filters have gone open to it. And so, if all you think about is the problems, the load shedding, the potholes, the issues, the government, that's all you see. You see more stories about it, you read more stories about it, you find more things to complain about. But if you start focusing on the positive, if you start focusing on the fact that you can prioritize your life and give yourself the quality of life that you really want, you start seeing opportunities to do that. But you have to train your mind. The same with when you start searching for that red car and you're looking on Auto Trader and you're looking here and everywhere, you've trained your mind to look for it. And once you've done that effectively, your mind starts to look for it without you even thinking about it. So if you want more positive, if you want to feel like you're in control of your life, you have to train your mind to look for the content that supports that. And then it will start naturally building up. According to the Science Foundation in the US, they say that we have between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day. Isn't that crazy? 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day, of which 80% of those thoughts are on replay, and 95% of them are negative. So you have this negative loop of thoughts every single day, unless you are intentional about changing it, just on replay. And this negativity bias, where your mind naturally sways toward the negative. It's more comfortable going to the negative. Isn't that crazy? But it's also quite sad. No wonder we feel drained and exhausted, because our mind has constantly been swayed to this crazy side of town. The reason why you can't do it. 100 reasons why it's not going to work for you. What if it doesn't work out in time? We're always preparing for the ball to fall, for the shoe to drop. We've just committed to that. At the beginning of last year, I was invited to go speak in Paris. Let me just wheel it back a little bit. We had COVID, obviously. And then after COVID, I went and decided to get knocked up. Imagine that. And then on top of that, it was twins. It was a tough year. Now, if you have one baby, you could leave them. You know, you could go, okay, I'm going to go for a week and do this. But if you have two babies, you cannot leave them. It is a task and a half. So I spent the first year with them, and it was a great year. But after that, I was like, okay, now I'm ready to finally go overseas. After the COVID years, after being pregnant, after having the babies, and getting them to 1 year old, I'm ready now to venture. And I got invited to go to Paris, and I was so excited about it. But everything was arranged online. A few phone calls, a few emails. I got my visa, everything was sorted out. Before I knew it, I was on the plane, and I was so excited. Oh my gosh, this is happening. As I'm sitting on the plane, this thought dawns on me. Oh my word. What if these people kidnap you? You know, you're like a cute girl. You've never met these people. You're on a plane. So I messaged my sister. You get these Wi-Fi bundles on the plane. So I messaged my sister and I say, girl, what if these people kidnap me? She said, you are almost 40. If they're going to kidnap someone, it's going to be with fresh eggs. You know, a 23-year-old. Sit down, girlfriend. I said, okay, come back to reality. And so in that moment, I'm like, Lucia, you've been dreaming of this. You're going to have your Carrie Bradshaw in Paris moment. It's going to be Lucia Dramat in Paris. It's going to be incredible. It's what you wanted for your career. And also you wanted to visit Paris, as I hadn't been before. All this to say, sometimes we have ridiculous thoughts. And if we don't check ourselves, we allow that thought to run away with us. I could have got off that plane and been totally suspicious. Who are you? I'm not going with you. I'm getting my own transport. I could have been so weird about the whole entire trip and not enjoyed it. I had a ball of a time, alone, in Paris, most of the time, outside of when I was working. I had a ball of a time. But it was all about mindset. And it was all about choosing to focus on the thoughts that actually fuel the life that I want. So each and every one of us here are faced with thoughts. It's for you to identify, are these thoughts fueling my life and the solutions, or are these thoughts fueling the problems and the issues that drain me? I did a delete and override, but in the same way, you're going to have to do a delete and override. And all of us can sit here and very quickly inspect, what have I actually allowed to make my life small? Where have I told myself it's not going to happen? It's not going to work, so don't even try. When I could have left my mind with the question, how can I make this work? Let me just sit on, how can I make this work? Let me allow myself to figure this out. I want to ask everybody now, if you can take your phones out again, just for a little bit of practical application. I'm sure as we've gone through this session, we all thought about certain things. Hey, I actually do want to include this in my life. My goodness, I've been paying the gym for 2 years. Maybe it's time I go, you know? Maybe I make that money work for me, right? So I'd like everyone to jot down 3 intervals they would like to include in their life. Now you have daily intervals, weekly intervals. It can be bi-weekly, it can be monthly. Maybe it's once a month book club. Maybe it is going for a hike every second weekend. Maybe it's every second month I'm going on a sneaky little 2-day getaway because I deserve it. Yes? Yes. Any 3 things that you think and it doesn't have to be huge. It could be something as simple as drinking a glass of water after I brush my teeth. Every day after I brush my teeth, I'm going to get that first glass of water in. Doesn't have to be something that you spend money on. Take the pressure off yourself. It's not just about spending money. Could be a walk on the beach. Could be a phone call with that grandma that we've kept putting it off all the time. We never get around to it, but she's actually important to me. And I do want to show her that. Maybe a phone call every second week. Right? Then I'd like you to write down 2 interventions. What are 2 things, 2 disruptors to your schedule? 2 things you can add to your life for the next 6 months, in the next 6 months. Right? That could just disrupt the way you do life and get you excited. I know I've put this goal out there. There's a specific pair of shoes. They are ridiculously expensive. And I don't know if my marriage will survive it, but I have put that pair of shoes there as a disruptor. It is the goal for the next 6 months. That's a purchase. But it could be an activity. Could be something out of the box. You kept telling people you want to learn to surf. We're almost in winter. Let's get it together. Let's book that surf lesson. And so I'd like to challenge everybody to, obviously with the interventions, it might need a bit more work, a few phone calls or whatever, but by the end of the week, schedule 2 interventions for yourself. It doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg, but it just needs to disrupt your normal routine. And then I'd like to challenge you to choose 3 intervals. And if you feel like you already have 1 or 2 down and you just want to add another one to it, then have 3 intervals that you commit to for the next month. You're not accountable to anybody. Nobody cares what you do with your life. They just care how you make them feel in the few moments that you interact. But it's just for you. But the magic that happens is you feel empowered. You feel refreshed. You feel like you're in control of your life and not bogged down by doing a whole lot of stuff that don't really matter to you. I want to wrap with my very favorite quote once again. Identify the problems. We're not avoiding them. We're not pretending that they don't exist. We are identifying them. But we are choosing to give our power and our energy to the solutions. Susie, whose husband had an affair, could have spent her time going on an eat, pray, love intervention. She could have met a new man. She could have done many wonderful and amazing things, but instead her power and energy went to replaying the shock horror that this man did to her and telling other people about it all the time. Had she chosen giving her power and energy to the solutions, a year, 2 years, she would have been in a much better place. And so we all can look at our own lives and say, where are some of those areas where I need to shift my power and my energy so that I can actually get the results that I want to get? Ladies and gentlemen, that's it from me. I want to encourage you to commit to intervals and interventions. It's not about balancing time, but it's about balancing your energy, your mindset, having some time management when it comes to priorities, and I gave you a powerful tool for that, and choosing to live a purpose-driven life, a life that actually has purpose, so you're not on autopilot just going through the day and you don't even know what it is all for. Thank you.